to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. What happened?
Wait, we know how much you all love your BBC license fee.
Yes, we do. The license fee makes it so that amazing broadcasting is brought directly to you.
You are so happy to sign over that little check. You love it so much, don't you?
Yes, you do. We've heard so much about it. So here we are to bring you what you probably already know, but our American viewers may not know, is just how much the BBC people are making.
They didn't know.
But they may know now.
They know now.
Now they know.
Now they know.
Let us commence with the
BBC
salary reveal.
has been forced to reveal the salaries of nearly 100 high-paid media personalities after fighting tooth and nail
To keep it under wraps.
this publication. Even we know how much our president makes.
Yes,
you
we
should
do.
know how much people are making if they're being
For those of
public
you
money.
in the United States or in other countries, you may not know, but the BBC is public broadcasting. It's paid for by the people.
They have deflected criticism over the bill by focusing on their own gender pay gap instead.
Little bit.
Top Gear presenter Chris Evans was paid nearly £2.2 million. That's a lot of elements. Every time I think of pounds, I think of weight. Anyways, by the BBC last year, while Gary Lineker received more than £1.75 million. Culture Secretary Karen Bradley told the Commons last September that it would help ensure the BBC produces value for money for the license fee.
That exactly looks like value for money.
More transparency could lead to savings. They could be invested in even more great programs. They're not going to give you more of your license fee back, but maybe possibly greater programs.
But I can tell you that more transparency is going to lead to cutbacks because the people are going to be outraged. You are going to have to do something about this.
So let's go over some of these. Chris Evans, this one, $2.2 million.
Pounds, get it right.
I mean pounds, I'm sorry. When I was looking at these numbers, at first I was reading them as £250,000
until you discovered that extra digit that put it into the millions.
And so when I was reading behind me the 89999, I thought to myself, £89,000, that's kind of high, but okay. No. It's £900,000.
So what we need to make sure that you can understand as we go through this list is the colors. And I love that even though they have a gender pay gap, they've decided the article that is written at Breitbart has highlighted the
blue
boys in
is
blue.
for boy.
Well done, Breitbart. And the pink is the
Do they have any transgenders? I don't believe there's any.
I don't know, but the first person on the list that is a female is, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Claudia Winkleman makes £500,000.
However, I love that it's all 999 to keep them just under.
Exactly that $1.
Every single one of them.
Strictly Come Dancing and the Great British Sewing Bee. That is a lot. That is expensive sewing bee.
Alright, so then you come down here and we see, unfortunately, this lady has the same name as Alex Jones. That's unfortunate for you. Again, she's here at almost £500,000. Girl, and then we have boys, and the girls keep going down. It's kind of...
But these numbers, they look like they're going down, and I keep wanting to read 29,000. But no. This is still a large group of people making £300,000.
Well, boys and girls, it does pay. Crime does pay.
Yes.
BBC is the propaganda arm of
they are proving
the deep
that
state. So crime does pay.
Now, their lowest paid, I think,
out of the top 100, they have quite a few that are only making £200,000. They must have to rely on government food stamps.
Now, okay, as a news channel, I suppose I should know a little bit more about each and every single one of these, but I'm going to go with my gut here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, many of you will, I know. But this Claire Balding, who covers Wimbledon Olympics and Radio 4, is she getting paid £200,000 just for a radio program? Is that not even on?
And is she full-time? I'm wondering if this is like a part-time gig of these people full-timers. But here's the thing. In a bid to limit the damage, BBC boss Lord Tony Hall sent a video message to staff prior to the list publication, reminding them that their salaries are large sums. Okay. To most license fee payers, stating, "We are dealing with the public's money after all, and you are getting paid quite a lot of money." Listen, when you have 100 people,
and the lowest one on the list is getting $200,000. Pounds. I don't know. It's going to be very difficult. It's like changing language. It's quite a bit of money.
Former Conservative Culture Secretary John Whittingdale told the Today programme, if somebody is earning the equivalent of 1,000 households' license fees put together for one salary, going to one person, then the license fee payer deserves to know.
Just a little bit.
And while the widespread amazement at the colossal salaries of the BBC's top stars was reflected in the rest of the mainstream media, the BBC fought back by saturating the news with their own coverage. It's not going to cover themselves, obviously, because they're not fair and balanced. Yet instead of dwelling on the millions of pounds of license fee payers' money being lavished on the stars, the BBC instead of followed Lord Hall's lead by framing the conversation around the gender pay gap. So this is what it is. It's like, oh, well, look at here. Women aren't being paid as much as men. We're just going to hammer that over and over again because they kind of get, we're just going to say, oh, the women and the men, we just need women to be paid more.
So actually the women should be up there with the £2 million salaries.
Women's Hour presenter Jane Garvey blasted at extraordinary male, entirely pale and big salaries, whose Radio 2, whose presenter Jeremy Vine was shown by the list to be one of the 4th highest paid BBC employees at about £700,000 to £750,000. In order to highlight what it calls the BBC gender gap, The Guardian highlighted the difference in salaries between male and female personalities working in similar fields. And then compared to each other, saying that one was making 50,000 more, but she was still making 150,000. In a statement to launch the BBC's annual report, Lord Hall promised that the broadcaster's commitment to gender parity and ethnic diversity will change the media market, declaring, "We have set the most stretching targets in the industry for on-air diversity, and we've made progress. If you look at those on the list who we have hired or promoted in the last 3 years," he goes on to say, "Oh, we're getting more females and blah, 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 blah." After arguing that it should only have to reveal salaries for only the stars earning more than 450,000, the BBC battled to delay publication of the list so as to buy time to even up the gender pay gap and move staff off its books. So, I'm just wondering what you all have to say about this.
Commenting on the list, UKIP media spokesman Patrick O'Flynn said salaries at the top end seem ridiculous, particularly when you bear in mind the extra spin-off earnings that come with being a major BBC presenter.
I have long believed there are people who could present Match of the Day very well for 1/10 of what Mr. Lineker is paid. Now, when you're taking public money, you have to realize you are doing a public service, and so no, you don't get to live like a lavish star. And when you live in a socialist country, this is what happens. When the money just pours in, the people at the top just keep giving more and more and more to the people at the top, and the people at the bottom don't even realize what is happening. They just know they have less and less to live on, and the people at the top have more and more to live on, but you have 100 people in your government TV, which making TV is not that hard, okay? Maybe pay the people doing all the editing, because that's hard work. Standing in front of the camera is not hard. It's doing all this, you know, button pushing and things like that. That's the hard work.
I could not agree more, actually.
So they should be paid more because they actually work. So here we go, cheerio, and I say let your government have it. Oh, let's read some of the few. I don't care what anyone earns in the free market, but those massive BBC salaries are paid for by the poll tax, and that hits the poorest hardest.
That specifically was tweeted out by Pat Condell. If you're not following him on YouTube, you should.
Now, haven't people been put in jail over this tax?
Yes.
While somebody's making millions of dollars.
Yes.
Pounds, sorry. BBC salaries are obscene, a slap in the face to ordinary hardworking people. They now try to spin it as the gender pay gap issue. BBC, so glad I cancelled my TV license and I'm not contributing to the obscene salaries of the no-talent, filthy rich.
Now, from what I understand, and many of you can correct me again if I'm wrong, but you are only allowed to cancel your TV license if you do not have a television in your home. If you own a television, regardless of whether you're tapping into it, you have to pay the licensing fee.
BBC salaries paid for out of our license fees are utterly obscene. I don't love the BBC or its presenters enough for that. Why is the BBC allowing unequal pay? And why are license payers putting any of these stupidly high salaries when we have food banks?
Very good question.
How ironic that the BBC uses competitive market to justify star salaries but refuses to expose itself to free market competition for funding. First people to whine about the BBC salaries are the same who will whine when they leave for better offers. So many people only happy when angry.
I don't agree with that. I think many people will be glad when these high-paid stars leave their shows. Nobody needs them, I'm sorry.
So, yes. So, I'm on a means-tested benefit. I have to pay the BBC license fee. No to huge salaries. A lack of disabled people on TV. Lesson from BBC salaries today is more transparency required. Money paid to production companies and related salaries should be disclosed. More transparency, but other than... you guys, you have to recognize the government is always going to... when you have people playing with other people's money, you will always be cheated. So you need to... That's why you need small government, because it's easier to keep an eye and tabs on all the crooks.
Unfortunately, what we're seeing in today's day and age is as these crooks continue to be exposed for who they are, they've decided to just come out of the closet altogether and say, yes, I am ripping you off and there's nothing that you can do about it, and now I'm going to be more blatant about how I'm ripping you off, and just, you know what, you can go home and suck your thumb.
So I love the BBC and think it's worth every penny. Think what ridiculous salaries football earners earn. Now, as far as I know, your government doesn't pay the footballers. You can choose whether to go to the matches or not. I choose not to go because I do believe that our footballers, American footballers and baseballers and soccer players get paid way too much money. Actually, our soccer players don't really get paid very much money. It's our American footballers that get paid lots of money. But anyways, I choose not to go. I don't want to put my money to that. But the government comes and literally yanks money out of your pocket if you have a television in your home. And so it is wrong.
Well, unfortunately here, if you live in the city of Cincinnati, you did contribute to paying for the Paul Brown Stadium. All right, so
they're a bunch of child molesting high salary thieves. Ew, it doesn't look really good.
No, not at all. All right, you guys, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not just a conspiracy theory.
If it's true.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring that bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God bless. And don't forget, we go live every Friday Eastern Standard Time at 6 o'clock on our channel, Mass Faith 3. We love you guys.
I was cold all alone. No place for